going into fashion is not something the traditional path for a young Asian kid is. So what gave you the courage to, venture out into fashion?
Well, at that time, I was a huge fan of Le Chateau. Growing
As
up,
we all were growing up
we
in
all
Canada.
were, right? Like Herschel Siegel built a really great brand, and so I was a fan of Le Chateau. I always loved the clothes. So I figured, okay, well, fashion, what's missing? I love retail. I love working with people. What's that perfect mix? So I thought, why not just open a fashion store, right? So that really interested me. But really where it drove me was, okay, what fashion, right? There's trends, and I didn't know how to buy, I didn't know what product was right, but I knew I had fashion in my mind, so where do I go? And then through my travels with my mom to Hong Kong, I thought, wow, okay, there's some really great brands, great product here. Plus, in the late 80s, going into the early 90s, an influx of immigrants were moving into Canada from Hong Kong. And I just thought, you know what would be very interesting? They're coming to a new home. So why don't I bring a part of their home to their new home that they're very familiar with? So I started approaching different brands in Hong Kong to see whether they'd be interested to expand into Canada.
Right.
Yeah. So I just ventured out, and I'm thinking, how do I reach out to them? They're overseas. I had to jump on a plane, and I'd never been to Hong Kong at that time when I first started. So how do I do this? And I just relied on the good old fax machine. If you remember the screeching machines, typewriter, up a letter, went through, at that time there was a Hong Kong Trade Development Council book with supplier names and contact information I got from the HKTDC, went through it and like, oh, okay, I've got their facsimile number. I'm gonna do this letter and send it to him. And then, as you know, those machines are very slow.
Yes.
And to receive, I'm sitting there waiting for a response, like an email. But I remember just waiting for a response. I sent out, I blanketed many, many letters. I remember one came in, it was like, second one came in, third one. The fourth one was my target.
Wow.
And they said, we'd be very interested to talk to you. What was my pitch line? My pitch line was, I'm David, I'm starting a fashion business here in Canada. I'm going to open a store in the first Asian-themed mall in Richmond, BC, which will be the gateway for Canada and welcoming new immigrants. I want to bring something from their home to their new home. So the company believed in that vision. So I flew to Hong Kong. Here's another story, right? I flew to Hong Kong. My very first meeting with them, I had an hour set up with the chairman, went to the meeting, I waited for him for 10 minutes. He came in 3 minutes, he left. He left me in the room with his executives. So I was thinking, oh, well, that meeting went well. Left the meeting with nothing and went home and I did a debrief with my friends. My friends said, what did you say? What did you wear? What did you do? Were you late? Went through a debrief and I said, well, I wore this jacket, I wore a pair of jeans. And then, what? You don't wear a pair of jeans and a varsity jacket to a meeting. I'm like, oh, okay. That was mistake number one, I think. And so I did it again. Fax machine, had a proper letterhead. The company invited me back. So I went back. This time, the chairman came in. We had a great hour-and-a-half meeting. I was dressed in a suit and tie with great presentation, prepared at this time. And after an hour and a half, he gave me the exclusive distribution rights for North America. And at the end of the meeting, I asked him, do you remember me? He goes, no, I don't think so. I go, I was here a few months back. Anyways, that was how I got it.
So what was the lesson there for everyone watching? The perseverance, the ability to change the script and the approach. What did you take from that?
You know what I take from it is never take no for an answer. Reinvent yourself and just always learn. Like if I believed in how I approached them the first time was the right way, I'll never evolve, right? And I always take no for an answer. Take no for an answer. Be persistent. Be resilient. Keep pursuing your dream. Yeah. My dream was, and by the way, when all this was happening, I convinced the landlord, right? I was the third person to sign the lease in the mall, and I convinced the landlord to give me a 5-year lease that I signed in January, and I was supposed to open my store in June, and I didn't know what I was selling.
Wow.
Right.
That's incredible. And I think we were chatting earlier, you were 18 years old when you signed this lease.
Yeah.
That's
Actually, technically 17, right? In January. My birthday is in April.
Yes.
So I turned 18 in April of that year. I was at a young age.